Hi, I'm Bill Kiefer, video historian, former United States Marshal. I happen to have served at Wounded Knee 1973, and I did not like that because I am in favor of the Native Americans and how proud society they are, and they've been used and abused and murdered, and the benefits of the United States being developed by the white people. The Indians had no choice. The white people said, we're going to either kill them or drive them into reservations, and we're going to take their lands and everything that they've had all their lives for 33,000 years and more. This is the Whitman massacre. It's eyewitness accounts from pioneer journals and official records. 1839, from a journal. September 10th, left the fort in company of Dr. Whitman and his wife on horseback. We lingered along some when first settling out on account of Mrs. Hall. She had not able to ride on horseback, having been diseased for years with a spinal affection, and came here for the purpose of recovering her health. 3 men took a canoe and were going up to Walla Walla River with her. We rode on after leaving them tolerably fast. Arrived at home before sunset, 25 miles. We found Dr. Whitman in comfortable circumstances. He has raised about 100 bushels of corn, raised 1,000 bushels of potatoes, as he thinks, though they were not yet dug. Some wheat, peas, beans, beets, carrots, turnips, squashes, melons, onions, broomcorn, hops, summer and winter squashes, pumpkin, and more. He had provisions enough for his family for the year, and some to spare to the Indians to pay them for their labor. I commenced preparing a bench and tools to work with Dr. W. Dr. W. had a house built of brick, or dobies as they were called, made of clay without baking them. This they wanted to have finished as soon as possible. All that was lacking was a joiner. I commenced working at one of the rooms, the one designed for the parlor, about 2 weeks ago, and finished it today. My arm has recovered nearly its usual strength. Eliza's good health is good. I knew it better. She is now assisting Mrs. Whitman in her household affairs. Mrs. W. is teaching the Indian children. The school commenced since we came here. They have delayed the school for want of a book. They had now acquired a sufficient knowledge of the language to teach and communicate religion instructions on the Sabbath. They have quite a large school, children quite interested to learn. The collection for a school is yet a novelty with them. How long they will continue to be as deeply interested, no one knows. The Whitman massacre was the murder of Oregon missionaries Marcus Whitman and his wife Narcissa, along with 11 others, on November 29, 1847. They were killed by a party of Cayuse Native Americans who accused him of having poisoned 200 Cayuse in his medical care. The incident began the Cayuse War. It took place in present-day southwestern Washington state near the town of Walla Walla, and was one of the most notorious episodes in the U.S. settlement of the Pacific Northwest. The event was the climax of several years of complex interaction between Marcus, who would help lead the first wagon train to cross Oregon's Blue Mountain and reach the Columbia River via the Oregon Trail, his wife and fellow missionary Narcissa, and the local Native Americans. The story of the massacre shocked the United States Congress into action concerning the future territorial status of the Oregon country. The Oregon Territory was finally established on August 14, 1848. The killings are usually described in part to a clash of cultures and in part the inability of Marcus, a physician, to halt the spread of measles among the Native Americans, who then held Whitman responsible for subsequent deaths. The incident remains controversial to this day. The Whitmans are regarded by some as pioneer heroes. Others see them as white settlers who attempted to impose their religion on the Native Americans and otherwise unjustly intrude, even allegedly poisoning the natives. Emotions with the Cayuse was at times tense due to a lack of privacy among the missionary family. Narcissa complained that the kitchen was always filled with 4 or 5 or more Indian men, especially at mealtime, and stated that once a room was established specifically for indigenous, that the missionaries would not permit them to go into the other part of the house at all, as according to Narcissa. The natives were so filthy, they make a great deal of cleaning wherever they go. She went on to declare that we have come to elevate them and not to suffer ourselves to sink down to their standard. In the beginning of 1842, when the Cayuse returned to the vicinity of the mission after winter, the Whitmans told the tribesmen to establish a house of worship for their use. The Cayuse noblemen disagreed, stating that the mission buildings already built were satisfactory for worship. The Whitmans tried to explain that we could not have them worship there, for they would make it so dirty, fill it full of fleas, and we could not live in it. The Cayuse did not think they were dirty, and the Whitmans' refusal to hold sermons in the mission household was very rude. The Cayuse allowed construction of the mission, assuming the promise of Parker to pay them still valid. During the summer of 1837, a full year after the commencement of construction, the Whitmans were called upon to make due payment. Whitman balked at the demands and refused to fulfill the agreement, as he insisted the land was granted free of charge. The Cayuse returned the subsequent winter to again demand material compensation along with medical help. Doctor, you have come here to give us bad medicine, you come to kill us, and you steal our lands. You had promised to pay us every year, and you have given me nothing. You had better go away. If people dies, you shall die also. Cayuse men continued to complain to authorities of Marcus Whitman's refusal to pay for using their land and of his preferential treatment of incoming white colonists. An additional point of contention between Marcus Whitman and the Cayuse was the varied use of poisons by the missionaries. Poison was used in melons that the Indians were taking to make them a bit sick. They also poisoned meat to kill wolves. Measles was epidemic around Sutter's Fort in 1846. When a party of primarily Walla Wallas were there, they carried the contagion to the mission. On November 29th, 6 men knocked on the Whitmans' kitchen door and demanded medicine. Mary Ann recounted that Marcus brought the medicine and began a conversation with them. While Whitman was distracted, a Cayuse struck him twice in the head with a hatchet from behind, and another Cayuse man shot him in the neck. The men then rushed outside to set upon the men and boys who were working outdoors. Narcissa found Marcus fatally wounded, yet he lived for several hours after the attack, sometimes responding to her anxious reassurances. A witness named Catherine Sager later wrote in her journal that a Cayuse chief chopped the doctor's face so badly that his features could not be recognized. Narcissa later went to get a view through the window in the door. She was shot by a Cayuse man. She died later from a volley of gunshots after she had been coaxed to leave the house. Besides Dr. and Narcissa Whitman, 11 others were killed. Peter Hall, a carpenter who had been working on the house, managed to escape the massacre and get to Fort Walla Walla to raise the alarm and get help. From there, he attempted to get to Fort Vancouver, but never arrived. It is speculated that Hall either drowned in the Columbia River or was caught and killed. Chief Beardley tried in vain to stop the massacre, but he did not succeed. He was found crying while riding towards the mission. The new governor, General Lamberston, demanded the surrender of those who carried out the Whitman mission's killing. The head chief attempted to explain why they had killed the whites, and that the war that followed, the Cayuse War, had resulted in a greater loss of his own people than the number killed at the mission. The explanation was not accepted. In the trial of the 5 Cayuses, who had surrendered, used a defense that is tribal law to kill a medicine man who gives bad medicine. After a lengthy trial, the Native Americans were found guilty. On June 3, 1850, the 5 Cayuses were publicly hanged for their involvement in the massacre. I'm Bill Kiefer. I am a former United States Marshal, deeply involved with the American Indians after Wounded Knee 1973, and this is a true account, and it is history. Until next time. Hi, I'm Bill Kiefer, and I do voiceovers for business videos, television, audiobooks, movies, and I am a voiceover professional. Audiobook, voiceover, and readings. Ever heard the phrase, "I saw it on the radio"? Well, an audio message can stand alone and also complement your videos. Or if you would like a nice, soothing, calm voice for your audiobook productions, give me a call at 541-973-0906 or email me at bill0906@hotmail.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time.